Yes, it's been a little bit slower just because some of the stuff being new to them with our offense and what we're doing really, for them was more of, a little bit slower because of just, again, adapting to the new offense, them improving individually, and now as we got into practice, 12, where guys are understanding things a lot better, and they were therefore leading and pushing some of those young guys like you would like them to.
A lot of pressure on that line to protect a younger quarterback, maybe give him some time back there because of that position.
Absolutely. But Worley's really and Peterman both have been really getting better. As we've finished practice or a scrimmage and just seeing the progress those guys are making. I think the guys are excited of the challenge of that, but at the same time, knowing that we do got to protect for those guys back there that it's a little bit new to them. But as each day's going by, I think the game's slowing down for them a little bit. Being the quarterbacks that I think they're really they're making progress.
How much progress has there been this spring as far as cross training and having guys learn different positions? So if you need to switch around, it's possible.
Yeah, we on Saturday, with last week being the emphasis of some guys playing some different positions for the first time. Again, it was good in the fact that a guy like Jawan James didn't necessarily have a good Thursday practice, and for him, he's got a lot of pride in all the work that he does and what he does. That he came out Saturday and had his best day at left tackle. So all I wanted was, one, to identify some guys having to play some different spots, creating, again, the sense of urgency of if during the season, if a situation were to occur, it's not something new to them, that they're attacking it, their mindset's that way, but more importantly, going into the summer. Like I told them this morning, I said, Jawan, you got to be taking as many pass sets as a right tackle as well as a left tackle. Guys getting center work that are playing at guard. Zach Fulton getting tackle work as well as guard. So I think it was really, again, for them, last week there were some days in which they struggled, but Saturday was a day in which we had some success that was good for them because, again, I think that the whole approach to last Saturday was different than a week before. I could sense when we had the meeting in the morning that there was just a different feel. I know that, again, it was like, their urgency was greater because it was something new for them. From footwork, their stance first and foremost, their footwork, all those things that was new to them. So the results we wanted Saturday were better. And yesterday was just an entire practice of really juggling a bunch because I wanted to keep them on the edge as well as just at the same time, again, letting them know this morning, hey, this summer, here's where we need to go moving forward.
In the spring, a lot of times, young guys, walk-ons, can stand out in the spring game because of depth situations. Are there any guys on your second team that will be kind of making their debut in a big stage like this, and you think that might stand out to fans?
Jacob Gillum is getting a lot of work at right tackle that has made some strides this spring that I've been encouraged with the things he's been able to do. So you'll see a lot of him. But really that's about it. The other guys are getting their normal work that they need. And the thing about it is this Saturday is just as important as any practice. There's the atmosphere that you want that is a norm for what you play in at a place like this. However, this is a critical day for us that, as Coach Jones mentioned day one, and I tell our guys, every practice counts as 2. So this can't be a 15 end of spring wasted day. It's got to be a day in which there's got to be, again, watching the film Sunday and seeing that the guys made some strides and made some progress. So that's got to be their approach. It's got to be obviously entertaining for the fans as we want it to be, but it's got to be a day in which we get better.
Coach, as you're wrapping this up, do you feel like you wish you still had 3 more weeks, or do you feel like can you step back and feel like you guys have gotten a lot done? Just on the offensive line.
We always want more work. In the reality of things, especially at a position up front where it's such a, it's a task in which the only way that you get better at it is having pads on and actually engaging in contact. They will go through their footwork in the summer. They'll go through their lifting and running and all those things, but there's nothing like putting the pads on and actually hitting for what's being asked of them. So, no, I'd like to go 3 more weeks, and I'd like to have 2-a-days every day. But the reality is, physically we can't do it, obviously. But no, I think the foundation's been set in terms of what our expectations are, and now as they go into the summer, from a standpoint of the conditioning level that we want them at, has got to be greater. Again, the demands that I just mentioned of earlier of playing multiple positions, in which guys have got to really concentrate and focus on the time spent of working maybe left tackle and right tackle in one guy's case, snapping the ball as a guard and a center. All those things, knowing that, hey, this is my plan of attack for the summer for us to get the end result this fall. So, unfortunately, Saturday ends it. But I think I'm always looking at things positive. I think that there's a foundation that's been set, and I think there's a part 2 where you end it where the sense of we're not filled up yet. We need more. Keep feeding me. So I like the fact they're going into the summer going, hey, there's still this we've got to master.
How do you simulate, especially because Coach Jones wants the offense to get even faster day 1 of fall camp than it was all of spring? How can those guys simulate that over the summer? I know you just talked about the difficulty, but how do you get in shape for that?
Well, again, being with Dave Lawson for 6 years, going into year 7, the training that he puts them through in the weight room, as well as the conditioning, it sets the stage for what we expect. And it's never been one where we go into that fall camp and we go, what's going on here? Our guys are not anywhere near where we want them to be. He gets them to the point where they need to be in shape through the training, and then also through the conditioning level of not just maybe a given day where it's maybe just running so many wind sprints. It's the offense getting together where they run plays through the 100 yards of a series of play calls that they got to think, they got to sprint, they got to burst, they got to get lined up. So it's tying that all in. But Dave's done a tremendous job with our kids, and I've been pleased with his body of work, as the proof's been there with what we've started camps with.